Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Mac Show. Today, we are going to be talking about the unfortunate inevitability that Game Pass will indeed be getting another price hike. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They will be getting yet another price hike. Is anybody really surprised by any of this? They shouldn't. But you know what? Seeing as where Microsoft has been going over the last little while, this shouldn't be a shock to anybody. For example, look at their hardware. All of a sudden, they just decided after 5 years to raise the prices of their hardware. Yeah, great move there, guys. And then on top of that, what do? They raise the price of their games. Now, I can understand that because, with the rising development costs, with far too many developers out in the field making way above the national average in terms of pay, it's no surprise here that these budgets are ballooning out of control, not because of the hardware, not because of the programming, because of the programmers. It is costing far too much money to make these games now, and you know what? Someone has to pay the price or something that has to give. I've already told you my feelings and thoughts about how AI is going to be taking the majority of their jobs. Yes, they invested billions into that, but they will save billions in the long run. That's what I absolutely see happening. However, we're not there just yet. Slowly getting there. Don't worry, Skynet. We see you coming. But anyways, either way, let's get back to this Game Pass price hike. Again, like I said, they're raising games to $80. Why wouldn't they raise the subscription price on top of that? They're not going to lose their shirts forever, folks. Yes, it'll still be the quote-unquote best deal in gaming. Yes, right? It will be. However, it's going to come at a price at some point. I could absolutely see Game Pass going up to like $30, $35 at that point. And then the thing is, at the end of the day, if you have $80 games and you measure that against $35 a month, it is still the best deal in gaming if you are interested in that service, right? So it makes absolute sense. Now, I had heard about this a few months ago from my source, which I have to apologize on the air that I never reported this news because I just kind of held on to it saying, I'm not 100% sure when this is going to happen. And then, of course, what does he do? He messages me this morning and says, I told you so, in capital letters. And yes, indeed, it seems that other news outlets like Windows Central are picking it up. Games Radar, here's an article right here from Games Radar, for example. They also picked it up. Fans worry Xbox Game Pass could be due for another price increase after evidence seemingly surfaces on the Xbox website just a month after the latest console price hike. Of course, what they failed to mention here is that there's also the game price hike of up to $80 for those first-party games. Now, it does mention it right here. The Outer Worlds 2 stepping up to the $80 plate later this year. Now, what happened here is that the price increase on its games had Xbox players sure Xbox Game Pass was sure to be bumped in the near future. So Microsoft can pull the it's even more value now line due to increasing the price of games. And would you look at that? It's happening, folks. So now the reason why this all came about, and now it's starting to make a little bit more news these days, is that we had a Blue Sky user, RedFX, and it says he posted an image from the HTML code of the Xbox Cloud Gaming website and noticed that there was a new notification called, quote, subscription price increase. That has been added to that website, to the website, and there's the image. I don't have the image here, but that's what he was saying. And given that we're about to reach the 1 year anniversary, now this is where it gets interesting, folks. The 1 year anniversary of the last price hike was almost a year to the day, and then of course it was the year before that as well. So it seems like we're going to be getting an annual increase. And I mean, hey, anybody who rents knows that the landlord's going to raise the rent every single year on the year. I mean, that's how it is here in Canada. Like, legally, they can't do it within the 12 months, but you could bet your ass that at 12 months and 1 day, that rent increase is coming, folks. And you know, the thing is, like I said, that's still going to keep coming over here as everything gets more expensive in this world. And I'm not justifying it. Don't get me wrong. I am not justifying it. I'm not happy about it, right? I'm a Game Pass subscriber as well. And you know what it's going to happen? I think what's going to happen is what we're already starting to see a little bit of a trend in the gaming industry right now. And what that is that people are being a lot more picky choosy as to what they buy. They're not upset with the games, but they're not going to be buying a game every month if they start jacking the price to this. Now, if you start looking at Canada, for example, an $80 game in Canada is almost $120 up here. Mario Kart World is $128.50 with tax. I have to keep reiterating with tax because we pay tax. Unless you're Indigenous, we are paying tax, okay? And tax is real money. So, like, I don't understand that argument. But either way, it doesn't matter. The point is at $128.50 for Mario Kart World, it's unbelievably expensive. I'm going to get a hell of a lot more pickier and choosier with my games. And when it comes to Game Pass, if I could see like a 3 or 4 month lull, let's say, of something that I'm not interested in, because you kind of know what's coming up, whatever, I could see myself unsubscribing for those 3 or 4 months and say, okay, let's hold off here, and then let's get it when there's Outer Worlds 2 and Call of Duty and whatever else is going to be in there. Oh, and Ninja Gaiden 4. I'll wait till they're all together, and then I can bang those all off in 1 month. Because at some point, when it does go up to $30 and then $35 US and whatever else, is that it's going to start getting expensive. So people will start bundling it together and saying, well, I'm going to wait for 2 titles or 3 titles and then go back in there and then play those games, right? That's a possibility. Or, I mean, there's always the people out there who get those deals. Keep your eyes out, folks. There's always those eagle-eyed shoppers out there. They always have deals on Game Pass and everything else and bundles, and you can get Black Friday bundles and codes and all that kind of stuff. And they work and they're fantastic. And a lot of people be able to stack on top of months on top of months. And but anyways, either way, like I said, when it comes to actually purchasing games, I get a lot more picky choosy right now. I was looking at Mind's Eye, which I know is a horrible car crash of a game, but it doesn't matter. I mean, at one point in my life, I probably would have just bought the damn game and played it. But now I have to pump the brakes, folks. And then I'm like, I'm going to get Death Stranding 2. And then after that, I'm going to get Mafia 4. And then after that, I'm going to be getting Borderlands 4, and then Ghost of Yotei. Those 4 games are the only games I'm purchasing for the rest of the year. Anything else that I consume, I will consume on Game Pass. Why? Is because, once again, I have to be a discerning customer. I have to be someone who has to look at this and say, well, those 4 games are going to cost me damn near what a console used to cost just a few short years ago, right? So you got to start thinking about that. And so, like I said, customers, well, we shall see how it all turns out in the end. We shall see if the numbers go up or down. They probably just stay around the same. However, like I said, people are starting to get a little bit more understanding about what's going on. They're getting a little bit more picky and choosy, like I said, about what they're actually going to purchase. But anyways, either way, looks like we're going to be getting another Game Pass increase very soon. Again, I want to say thank you to my source who told me a few months ago, and I never reported on it, but now other people are starting to report on it. I would expect it sometime very soon, certainly before any of the releases come in the fall. I would imagine before September, because then that's when Ninja Gaiden 4, Call of Duty, and Outer Worlds 2 will be coming out. I would expect the increase to happen before then. But anyways, everybody have yourself a wonderful day and stay magnificent.